One of the most often talked about missing pieces that districts had with iNow concerning attendance was the fact that when a teacher marked attendance in first period, it automatically would write that attendance record to the other periods throughout the day. Now, while PowerSchool does not take the stance of automatically marking for a student and wants teachers to physically be the ones to mark them absent, there is a way that if districts or schools make the choice to go ahead and progress that absence on, they can. It will just need to become a daily part of your routine. So here is what you can do to get that first period attendance to filter through the rest of the day to give that overall view to begin with after the first marking period. So let's say that first period teachers have gone in and taken attendance. That means that you have attendance that is generating under the functions attendance area. And so in this pilot site here, I have both meeting and daily. You can see teachers have taken attendance. These 5 students have been marked unexcused absence for the day. I can see that this first period attendance unexcused absence has written over to the daily record. Now we're making the assumption that there are no check-ins or check-outs that are processed. There's no predated in school, out of school suspension. You're probably going to see those in this list. The ones that you're going to want to grab are the ones that are truly the unexcused absences in your bridge period or this first period that you have that you want to write to the rest of them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to filter my results. Now, I will preface this and say that my filter is just going to return these 5 students, but in the real world, we know you might have 30, 40, 50 absences here of all different types, and you don't want to mess with the ones that you've already predated for any student. So in this filter area, I'm going to click this plus button. I'm going to drop down and I'm going to choose the period where the attendance was marked by the teachers that I want to find. And I only want to find those that have been marked with the unexcused absence because that's the absence code we're using in the state for teachers to mark out of the gate. So when I hit apply, it would then filter your list of students. Again, I get the same group of 5 students that I had prior. You would have filtered down all your check-ins and check-outs or anything else that you had done with the code other than the UA. If for some reason your filter got students in there that you did not want to have this push to, you can come over here and check or uncheck any student that you want to perform what I'm about to show you to. So in my case, I want to pull all 5 of these students. I'm going to check the box to include all 5. I'm going to set them as my current selection. Now I'm going to go back to the main PowerSchool screen. I now have the 5 students whom I want to now mark absent for the rest of their periods for the teachers to look at. So in your group functions, and mine's already selected to it, but under the group functions in the attendance area, you have attendance change. It's going to default to today's date, which is what we want to do, moment in time. I want to scan for all meetings. Now, I run a pretty complex bell schedule that some periods are turned on and off. I'm not sure which bell schedule it is, which day. So what I'm going to do, select all and just pretty much take off this. And what it's going to do is find any of those periods that are actually on the kids' schedule for today. Codes to scan for, anything, because these students have been identified as being absent. So even if I have them marked to be in a field trip later on in third period, if the teacher has said they're absent, we're assuming they're going to be absent the rest of the day. If they're not, they'll check in. I'll recode it at that moment. So I'm going to grab any code for any of these kids. I'm going to override and set that to an unexcused absence for the remaining periods of the day. So the only thing I'm really changing is the periods here that I want to write to and what code I want to write to those periods. And I choose overwrite and submit. If you want to put a comment in there, you can. Now when I do attendance and I go to my meeting, you will see that I have attendance there. Now let's look at some of the anomalies. Why does Mickey not have something for second period here? Why does Alexis have double UA here? Why does Caden have double UA? Well, that's all going to be based on their schedule. If I were to look at Mickey and go to his schedule, you'll notice he does not have a second period class for today. So therefore no attendance can get pushed to that. For Alexis and Caden, they actually have classes third period that run, they have 2 classes that run third period. So it marks them for both in the way that we have it set up. But this gives you that functionality back that we had in iNow, where if a teacher marked them absent for first period, then it continues it the whole day. Now from this point, any attendance changes are typically facilitated through the front office, and you can perform those check-ins and check-outs. So if Alexis then decides to come in right now at 9:29, I can then come in and perform any check-out or check-in that I need to. Hope this tidbit helps.